What's going on, boys? It is day number 29. Sorry, I had to fix my page here. Got the fan on. We are going to be looking at the start of what is going to be titled as Job's final defense. So for today, we're going to be looking at two sections in chapter 29 to cover this kind of final speech, I guess you could say, that Job is going to make to kind of proclaim who he is, who he was really, and how that is going to bring him glory, and remembering that God is faithful and God will bring him out of this darkness that he has been placed into. I'm going to try and make this video short just because I'm recording this really late, but just bear with me here. First off, I'd like to take a look at verses 14 through 17. Now, both of these sections are going to be very similar as far as how Job explains, what his role is in being his servant. But the difference is how things that you must do and things that you will do. Or in other words, the first part is going to be thinking about things that I should do, and the second part is going to be things that I am going to do. So verses 14 through 17, Job says, I put on righteousness as my clothing, justice was my robe and my turban. I was eyes to the blind and feet to the lame. I was a father to the needy. I took up the case of the stranger. I broke the fangs of the wicked and snatched the victims from their teeth. So immediately, in this set of phrases, the word I is repeated several times. I believe it's repeated about 5 times. Now, what does that mean? It's got to mean something. You see it repeated, so it's got to be important, right? Well, it is. And the immediate thing that I took down was that if things are to be done, I must find out how to find the solution to the problem. So if I want to figure out how things are to be solved, if I want to figure out how to lead people out of darkness, lead people away from the dark past that they were on before, I must make that change. I can't just sit here and hope that things will get better. I can't just sit there and think, well, maybe this will just get better if I just, just sit here and I'm just like, man, I hope you guys do better and everything. Well, until you actually all right, I'm going to stand on my feet. I'm going to start walking in this direction. I'm going to start going and asking questions to these people. I'm going to start, figuring out where these people are at in life, because I don't know what they're facing. I don't know where they're at until I ask them. I don't know. I can make these assumptions and say that I was doing this, say that I know what's going on, but ultimately I don't know. And I need to figure it out. I need to figure out, okay, this person's here. Okay, how can I bring them up? I have all of this knowledge. I'm a servant of God. I'm filled with so much wisdom. I want to share it. I don't want to just be like, I have wisdom, you don't, haha. No, I have wisdom. I want to share it with other people. I want to raise people up. I want to help heal people. Live a life just like Jesus. Use what others don't to guide them. Use what others don't have. Use that because you have. Use that to guide them. Show them that just because they don't have a specific, maybe a specific feature, or they don't have a specific, attribute, that doesn't mean that sets them apart from someone else. We are all created by the hands of God himself. This immediately makes me think of the many speeches that Jesus gives. And I was actually having this conversation with my my Bible study yesterday. And one of the things we were talking about is that, why Jesus came. And Jesus didn't come just to save people or to, make bad people good. He came to heal the sick. He came to heal the sick. And there's a lot of people that are sick. And I'm not talking about people who are, dying. That's more than that. Yes, he did come to save people who were on their deathbeds and people who had illnesses like leprosy and who were paralyzed and were blind. Yes, he did do that. But he also healed people who were filled with anger and who lusted and who were prostitutes and people who were associating themselves with things that were not of the church and not of the Holy Spirit. And all in all, that's one of us. So while I'm not trying to call anybody out here, Jesus came as a reminder to us, and is saying, hey, you're sick. Let me heal you. I can heal you. Everything that you're doing right now is not helping. You can't heal yourself. You can't fix yourself with yourself. The only way you can fix yourself is through me. I can heal you. Let me heal you. Let me dwell in you, and you will thrive much better, and you will thrive so much more, and be a light to others, and others will follow. And this leads me to my second set of verses, which is verses 23 through 25. And I love what he says here. Job says, they waited for me as for showers, and drank in my words as the spring rain. When I smiled at them, they scarcely believed it. The light of my face was precious to them. I chose the way for them and sat as their chief. I dwelt as a king among his troops. I was one who comforts mourners. So again, we get that kind of repetition of the word I again. But one of the things that we notice with Job is that he was able to draw people's attention, and he was able to reel people in, that when he would say things and he would smile and be present, people would be drawn to him. People would be, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing. Like, what he says is so good and so true. Like, I want to follow him. I want to listen to him. And that's the kind of thing that we need to be as individuals. We can't just be afraid to, share our thoughts and embrace what we've done in our past. While our past may suck, and we may think back and like, man, I wish I had done that. It's already done. There's nothing we can do. While we wish we could go back and say we, wouldn't have made that decision, we wish we wouldn't have gone out and done this thing, there's nothing we could do. And it has no effect on what you have on now. But it can have a effect on how you think about things. And how you think about things is how you actually perceive it and make that action. And when you change your thought process, that's what actually changes your actions, and what changes you and makes you into a whole different individual. Now, the important thing is that it's not about the changing of the mind, it's about the changing of the heart. It's about the reformation of that rebirth through the heart, allowing Jesus into your heart, allowing the Holy Spirit to dwell in you, to lead you into righteousness and holiness, and not into temptation or darkness, but to bring you joy and to help you to differentiate between things that are good and things that are not good. I promise you, there are so many things that I have encountered and, been able to differentiate, but there's also other things that I haven't. Conversations with people, I myself, one of the biggest things I'm working on is how to share my story and share my kind of life with people that I don't have the best kind of connections to. It's like people that I work with, or maybe people at my school, people that you don't know, because sometimes the people that you don't know, the people that, you see a lot, are sometimes the people that can, benefit you. And sometimes they can be people that need the most help. You can be that person to brighten their day, and be that person to encourage them to say, hey, it's okay to, let go of your past. It's okay to share it in your past. It doesn't matter, whether you had an addiction to cigarettes or alcohol or pornography or, I don't know, just anything in general. Understanding, especially for the guys, we know that we ourselves try to fix our problems. We say we're going to fix it. Well, we can't fix it without good brotherhood and without Jesus in the center of our hearts. And that is today's word. I hope that you guys have a great day. Love you, boys. I hope to see you guys very soon. Peace out, boys.